'Cause I found unconditional love. Yes, I found unconditional love. 'Cause I found unconditional love. Yes, I found unconditional love. 'Cause I got unconditional love. Baby, I got unconditional love. I found a love that I gotta sing about. This man, he loves me through my ups and downs. Oh, I can't help myself, I have no doubt. He stands by me when others can't be found. I know I found unconditional love. I know, yes, I found unconditional love. 'Cause I
a man I knew before, facing problems seemed unsurmountable. Saw his eyes asking me, forgive me, you don't work no more. Told him I learned this once labor he gave me. Positive force, positive vibe, positive feeling I can share. Feel good now, yeah, feel right soon. Positive force, positive vibe, you gotta reach down deep inside. Gotta try, man. This broken world, yeah. We got some work to do. Start to give a hand, say a prayer for you, brother, make it right. Positive force, positive vibe, positive feeling we can share. Yeah, feeling good. Yeah, we're feeling right. Positive force, positive vibe. Gotta reach down deep inside. Gotta try, man.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this edition of the Indie Live Spot right here on live or streaming live right here on YouTube, and very excited about today's show because we got a great guest today. We have Bickley Rivera returning to the show. Welcome, Bickley. Glad to have you back on the show. Yeah. And also we got our guest host Joe Coos in the house today.
Some coolness.
Yeah. And then of course you see Grizz and Ray's here as well, and not sure where Joyce at. Joyce, she might surprise us, she may not. So, yeah. But anyway, we want to welcome Bickley back. Great back
Thank
to the
you.
show. How you been, Bickley? You been doing okay?
Yeah, busy doing a lot of different things. Because when's the last time we talked? I think.
Well, that's been a minute.
Yeah, that's been a while.
A minute.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this. Yeah, it's been a minute because the last time we talked, Bickley had a glass of wine, and I think I had some brown roll. I got toasted.
I remember that one. Yes.
You remember that?
Started slurring his words, and he started leaning over to the other side of the chair.
Yeah, remember that?
Joyce says she's here.
It's called this Ray MAC Tiger Juice.
Give me some more rum.
It's some more rum on.
And after everything went off, me and Gary was talking. I went to sleep on G.
Yeah,
Yes, you did.
he sure did. I had to leave him there, and I think he probably woke up to his computer screen later on that morning. I don't know.
Seeing himself on the screen.
He woke up fussing. You know how Ray MAC is.
So you've been pretty good, huh, Bickley?
Yeah, keeping busy, doing new material, mixing up the genres a little bit, you know?
Okay.
As you know, I think the first time you had me on, I did mostly you were featuring the smooth jazz, the chill music.
Uh-huh.
Since then, I came out with an album, Positive Vibe, which,
This one.
yes. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
way back.
Mhm.
Yeah, 2010.
Oh, we gonna take you back. We gonna take you back today, baby. We gonna take you back.
Oh, okay. I can handle it. Yeah, after that, then I worked with Steve Oliver and Will Donato on my second album, which was released in 2015. That's Breaking the Mold.
This one.
There you go. And
Hey,
then
you know,
2016. Huh? What's that?
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying. And then 2016, Positive Vibe, which is the reggae side of my performances. And now all of a sudden, I'm kind of like doing a spin around again because I see there's a huge need for meditative music. Everybody's doing it. Everybody's on the bandwagon. So I'm taking advantage of it. And I've been writing a lot of really cool stuff. And like I've got the one single that I just released, which is part of a collection. I call it the electronic collection because it's a combination of my synthesizers, my sound effects that I create, a little bit of drumming, but very minimal really. And then the hints of the steel pan and vocals. But I want to go a step further and actually slow it down even more for those people that need to really like get rid of a lot of negative energy, that kind of thing. And so on my YouTube, I'm trying to split it up. So I've got sections for each type of music. And I'm finding that people are like really digging this new chill stuff that I came out with. They're like, wow, more of that. So I've got singles coming out every month. So I might have to come see you guys a couple times.
Hey,
That'd be fine.
Yeah.
that way Ray can finally get his little, competition in again to see who gets lit first, be him or you.
Yeah, right.
But I'm sure it's gonna be. He wants a rematch.
Yeah. I gotta practice for that.
Yeah, you got me tore up that night, Bickley. You got me tore up.
Oh, come on.
Yourself, dude.
Did I hand him the glass?
Yeah.
Because you had one glass of wine. That's all you had,
That's
and
all I
that's all
had.
you worked on during the show. He
Just a
kept
witness.
pouring more rum into his glass.
Yeah. I saw that.
That was all on you, Ray.
It's kind of rough when you take that first taste, but after that, shoot, it's downhill then.
Yeah.
What are you drinking? What are you drinking now, Ray?
Man, I got some. What I got in there? I got some cognac. I got some. I got some rum and I got some vodka.
All together.
I don't know. They're all up in the cabinet there,
Well, if we see you move away from the camera, we know where you're headed. You.
I told Beckley, I told Gary and Greer, I'm gonna be ready for you again.
All right, maybe you're on.
All right.
Hey, Ray threw down the gauntlet.
That's right.
He done threw it down.
Let me ask you, how was your trip to Colorado?
It was great. It was, we were in Denver for one night and loved Denver. I mean, just so much arts and good creativity around. And then we went up to Breckenridge for 2 days. Then we went to Frisco for 1 day and then back to Denver. So I really enjoyed it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Did you get fresh snow while you were up there? Or how was the
Yeah, well, yes and no. I mean, I guess there was snow a couple days before we got there. It was kind of packed down on some of the different trails that I was on. Some of them were kind of fresh. And then when we got, after the 2 days of Breckenridge, we went to Frisco and heavy snow. They, a lot of things like, cancellations of plane fares and stuff like that. But I wasn't skiing at that point, so darn,
Yeah. Frisco will do that.
So with all your new stuff that you got out, are you performing it? Are you performing it anywhere or what?
Well, okay, so when I did the Chillin' After 5, I had a jazz band. We performed it. Not a lot of venues for me in this particular area. So when I started doing more of the reggae, I found, wow, that really caught on. So that's mainly how I'm booked all the time. As far as the new stuff, I mean, I'd love to find a place to do that. I don't know if that's going to happen anytime soon, but I do actually have a show in West Palm Beach coming up in February where they're asking for that type of music, but it's kind of far and few between, but I'll take it. If they want it, I'm doing it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Joe, what are you doing?
Hold on, man. Hold on.
Man, I told you about that. Hold on. Leave it alone. You fine.
Mac, hold on, bro.
Bickley, so when do you think you'll start working on your next reggae CD?
Oh, yeah. So I'm getting ready to do a tour in the Connecticut area in July. So sometime in June, I don't have my schedule with me right now, but it's going to be released in July. And what this tape is going to be, or this CD, is going to be a combination of reggae, maybe a little reggaeton, and some calypso and soca music, because at my shows, that's what they get. And that's what they're asking for every time. They're like, okay, where's the next CD that's got that music? Because they love soca music wherever I play.
Right.
So I'm putting that in. Yeah.
Down in South, you're in South Florida. You know, it's that reggae should be going really very well down through there.
Yeah, you would think. I mean, it is and it isn't. I mean, I'm busy, so no complaints. But it's surprising how in Florida that there's a lot of success with rock bands. Natives here like the rock and roll. The tourists that come down want to hear island music, tropical music.
Right.
So I do fairly well most of the year, but then, there's competition with the rock and roll. So it's just a matter of finding the right venues.
Right. Oh, and Jody Applewhite in the chat room says, where in Connecticut are you going to be playing in July?
Okay, so I know for a fact, I should have put my calendar in front of me. I think on July 9th or 10th, I'm playing at the Riverfront Recapture area, which is in Hartford, Connecticut, with WRCH, what is there, 100.5, I think it is.
Okay.
I'm sure she knows WRCH because they're a huge radio station there. So we'll be doing something with them on that day. I have the Wadsworth Museum on, my husband's handing me the calendar here. Okay. Wadsworth Museum, which is in, I think, Middletown on July 22nd. He doesn't have there's some other dates I think that we have. We have a guy that we perform with. I'm going to be backed up by a band called Moto. So they're a reggae band that performs there. So they're going to be giving me more dates each week. But for now, what they could do is just follow me on BickleyRivera.com or Facebook, whatever, and I'll be posting all that stuff out when it gets a little closer.
Right. Okay, cool. There you go, Jody. So now you know.
Check it out.
Right.
Hey, Vic. Now you mentioned earlier that Chillin' After 5, which was a little bit on the smooth jazz side, but then you came out with Breaking the Mold, and that was a little bit more edgy. Now, was that a personal choice, or was that something you're giving what the listeners, what the Bickley Rivera fans wanted on Breaking the Mold?
Yeah, that's a good question. Actually, that's why I called it Breaking the Mold. Well, two reasons. One of them was because there's not I don't really even know of any steel drummers that are doing smooth jazz. Now you got Andy Narell who does jazz, but more traditional style, and his type of playing is different. But he is actually playing on that album, by the way. I don't know if you knew that, but he inspired me to just kind of take it to another level and just kind of like do the more smooth jazz end of it. And I wanted to get radio play. So to be honest with you, when Steve Oliver and I first talked about it, he really liked my concept of doing something different with steel pan and putting that chill edge on it. And so we worked to really put it in the format that was going to work well on radio. So, I mean, I had a couple good hits there. The first Let's see, kicking. Hey,
Hey,
Oh, never mind. I got it.
driving, is she?
yeah.
Well, she's
Is
in
that-
the car, but she's not driving.
I hope not. Yeah, so. Oh,
Is that Joyce? Hold on a second. All right, there we go.
Okay, Bickley, you were saying?
yeah, so yeah, we just had tried to fit breaking the mold to more of the radio fitting so that we could get, airplay. My whole point is I want more people to hear that steel pan can be used in that way, to do it beyond just your typical island reggae style. Everybody's doing calypso on steel pan and a lot of the Key West style. So why not bring it into different genres? And then that's why now this latest single that I have infuses it in there. And I'd like to hear more of that. I'd like other artists to do the same.
Yeah.
Well, you look at it like this, Beckley. You the only one that's doing this at this
Yeah.
point. You the one to keep. You're the only one doing it, but you have to keep it moving so other people can pick that up because it will happen.
Yeah.
You look like the violins. Here they come in. They
Yeah.
doing their thing. Yeah.
Right.
On the radio.
Yeah. You're right.
It ain't all
Yeah.
about horns and bass guitars and guitars and stuff like that. You have
Right.
to have some other type of instrumentation to do what you're doing. What they do.
Right.
Mhm.
Like
And
Terry
matter of
Tuck taking bass and making that a solo instrument. That's so cool,
Right.
Yeah.
Be the first. Be the first.
Speaking of different instruments, you get the different tones.
So we can't hear you.
Can't hear, yeah.
Can't hear you.
Try it again, Joe.
Still can't hear you.
Because it's steel.
Well, we can't hear you. I think
Can't hear you.
you're getting sound from Joyce or something. It's kind of drowning you out.
Yeah.
Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Okay.
there we go. All right, let's try it again.
Okay. Okay.
How do you get the different tones from steel pan? Because that's stretched steel.
Correct,
So-
yeah.
Yeah, how do you get the different tones?
Well, I don't really do it, but the maker pounds these holes in not holes, but dents in the metal. And so depending on the size of it, here, hold on a second. Let me see if I can show you.
All right.
You see this?
Yeah.
Okay.
One is a different size. It's kind of hard. I'm trying to put one hand, but you can see each one. Like this one's a huge circle dent right here, so it's a lower tone. But now as you get up here, they're smaller and they produce a higher pitch. I don't know if that's picking out your hearing, but anyway, that's how it works.
Okay.
Steel pans is basically like how you said, you got a set of crystal with water in it. You can get the different tones in the water, in the glasses from the water. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Same concept.
Same concept.
Yeah.
So the great mystery is
Forward to making some. Right.
Yeah.
I don't
So,
know.
boys, how you doing?
I didn't hear you, Ray.
She didn't hear me this shit.
No.
Now she froze. Okay.
I think
What?
we got some ambient noise from the cars.
Yeah. We Joyce, if you can hear us, we catching noise from you.
No, she didn't hear
She
you.
can't hear us.
I can hear you. I was just listening. Why
Oh,
don't you-
Gary asked you a question.
I was trying to sign off. You said you're hearing noise from me, so I'm going to sign off. Okay, you guys?
Oh, okay, well, be careful.
All right.
All right. Okay, there we go.
We can hear a pin drop.
Where's the music? Where's the music?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hey, well, now speaking of music, why don't we play the new single that she's got out?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Awesome.
So tell us a little bit more about Mumbai Glow.
Yeah, I've been exposed to a lot of the Middle Eastern music, the Indian music, and I just find it so peaceful. And I understand now why they meditate to these particular instruments. So I wanted to put flavors of that in this song. And actually, I don't think it was an actual planned thing. It just kind of came out that way as I was writing it. I'm like, wow, it would sound really good to have sitar in there and flute. And so a lot of the songs that I'm writing now for this electronic collection is going to be surprising instruments like from around the world. Check it out. I don't know. See how you like it.
There were different sounds in there because I remember when you sent me the track, and I was expecting just steel pan all the way, and all of a sudden I heard the sitar, and I said, "Okay, we're going in another direction."
Right. Well, okay. So and this is the thing that people don't know. If you notice that picture, that promo picture, there's a keyboard in there.
Right.
There's the steel pan and the keyboard because I've been a keyboardist since age 5. So that is really my original instrument. I used to be totally into Moog synthesizers and all that good stuff. So, when I came out with steel pan, I just kind of thought, let me bring that into a different direction than steel pan has been in. But now I'm like, well, let me use it as an accent to kind of lift the music. And so it's a pleasant surprise, hopefully, when it comes in.
Right.
Let me ask you before we go into the music. What made you decide to start playing the steel pan?
I think it was really because my husband and I used to travel to the islands every February to get over that sad disorder thing from the Northeast. Get some sunshine. And it's happy music. Every time you hear that instrument, it just really lifts you. And so I was always intrigued by it. I wasn't an avid follower of steel pan music prior to that, but once I saw it at the islands and I just saw how they were always just very just always in a good mood. And maybe it was just the sun, I don't know, but to me I felt like it was the instrument, so that's how I ended up doing it.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. I like that steel pan. I like it.
Yeah.
And well, when you put it with other flavors of music and give that genre something totally different with it.
Yeah.
Just like jazz, totally different. Smooth jazz, totally different.
Sure.
And that's another instrument in a genre that once you hear it, it's automatically identifiable to one section of the globe.
Right. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing I have not heard, and it's always been in gospel music though, the harp.
The harp?
Yeah. I don't know if I know anybody that plays the harp.
I know somebody, she moved out of Florida, but she was doing a little bit of the cutting edge with the harp, believe it or not. She was doing maybe like a Miami sound beat kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But it's not common.
It's not.
No, it isn't.
And then you've got Maria Antoinette. She's on the West Coast. She's doing something with the harp for jazz and doing a fantastic job.
What's her name again?
Maria Antoinette.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's on the West Coast.
Yeah. Nice.
But like I said, that is not common at all.
No.
It's not.
Now, one thing, being that you do play the steel drums and you happen to use mallets and stuff, do you play drums too?
I don't.
Okay, I was just kind of curious if you did or not.
I had a huge upbringing in classical piano, and so very, very theory oriented. So had to learn. Really, honestly, the rhythm is so important in music, and I teach piano as well. And that's one thing I tell my students. I said, I am less concerned about you making this note perfect. I want you to make it rhythmically correct. And because if you're playing all these notes perfectly, but the rhythm's not there, I don't understand the music at all.
Yeah.
So, so that has always been kind of drilled into my upbringing, I think, with my education in music. And so, you know, it takes time to develop that, being that I was just a keyboardist and pianist. So there was a learning curve there. Some drummers do take to steel pan and they'll switch right over.
It's so easy for me. Just come to think, if you walking around New York City and you look at some of these guys sitting out there playing the tops of a trash can or a bucket, or something like that.
Now where the drummers kind of have a disadvantage is that they're not used to improvising melodically. So that's the only thing. Like that's what I had going for me. I didn't have the drumming background, but for them, there's a little bit of a curve there. I've talked to quite a few drummers that now play steel pan, and that's one thing they said. I don't know how to construct a good melody or good solo because they've never had to do it. They've never had to hear melodically what to do.
Right.
Well, only thing they base is doing a lot of beats and flams. You know what I'm saying? The drummer beats and flams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Enough chat. Time for the song.
All right.
All right,
Let's go ahead and get into that music. So
on.
we will get this track on, and then we'll come right back with our guest, Bickley Rivera.
Good, because that's where Mumbai is.
Right.
You got it right, Ray. Yeah. Good answer.
Geography lesson.
You finally got one right.
Sorry about that. Yeah, that's the idea.
That's the idea.
Yeah.
He just put some new knowledge in his head.
There's no new knowledge up here, but that's that's the kind of music they play.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. Yeah. Yeah.
It's really cool.
I
Really cool.
can walk down the street and I got some neighbors from Indy, but you can hear them out, they be out in their backyard. You can hear them just doing what they do.
Damn it, man.
How we doing with the image now? It's not frozen still, is it?
Yeah, you are
Yeah.
frozen. Okay,
There
now
you go.
now
There you go.
you're moving now. You're moving now.
Now you move. You looking back over there, going, show you had your hands on your face.
If there's any movement. I got
Your hands be all in your face.
That's it. Everybody.
everybody.
Holding your
Hey,
glasses.
just treasure this moment because I don't usually show my face in public. I'm normally behind the mic.
Well, I don't too much blame. I don't too much blame you for that.
Hey, don't stir it; it won't stink. Nice. I love that track. Oh man, that is. I think that's going to be another one. Well, like you sent it to me, and I've got it in the rotation. But girl, I'm gonna tell you, you put your foot in this one. It is so nice.
Thank you. Yeah, my only thought is I'm curious what the feedback is from DJs about the length of the song, because the problem with this kind of music is you cannot make them short because it's not following a verse, chorus, which you do in 16 or 18, 32 bars or something like that. This gets stretched out beyond, and that's the whole point of it, is to get you to slow down. But
Right.
radio perspective, I don't know how that's going.
Well, I would take a look at it like this. Why shorten the creative process? You see what I'm saying? You're an artist. You've got a message to give through your music. So, I mean, damn the length. Just put it on out there and let your listeners, let us be the one to judge.
Yeah, you can turn it off when you want.
Yeah. But it hasn't been happening on my radio, on my station. No drops at all, dear.
Oh, that's cool. Good to know.
So Bickley, so what else do you have in store for the rest of the year, 2020?
Well, as I mentioned before, I set up my YouTube now, so I'm going to be releasing a meditation video every month. And those will be probably 10 to 15 minutes long at least, because that's probably short compared to most meditation things. But the idea is really to do it from a musical standpoint, but still get some words in that will, whether it's a whisper that says calm down, slow down, or something like that, rather than a whole dialogue of guided meditation. But hopefully, like through the music and through the few spoken words, it puts them on the journey where they're doing they're guiding themselves, So that's going to come out once a month, and that will be a video, so it'll have some nice pictures and all that stuff. And then the electronic collection, which you just heard from, is going to be also once a month. So it's a lot of releases. But for my reggae album, I might release one song and then the whole album. So that, like I said, that's going to be in June. So stay tuned for that. And the rest of the year is just playing.
Cool.
Now, the reggae album for June, are you talking about one single off that or the entire album in June?
The entire album.
Gotcha. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
And also, when you're talking about the meditation, when you're doing the videos for about like 15 minutes long.
Right.
It's also cool to hear that kind of music, like when you're getting massaged.
Right.
Oh, because they have the candles going and all that, so that would be perfect.
Yeah, and I'm finding, because like I mentioned, I teach piano to a lot of children, and I get feedback from the children, like what things they like, and I'm finding out that the children, I'm talking like maybe 14, 15, 16, have teachers that are having them meditate for 20 minutes before the class starts. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
But and I asked, I said, why are they doing this? And one of my students said, just to keep people calm down. Just keep them, and they learn better that way. And so the young people are learning that that's actually a good tool to use. I mean, it's not, it's non-denominational, so it's wherever you want to take it spiritually. And one thing that one of my students mentioned is also the images you put on your videos are important. So they want muted colors. They want really nice looking, soft things. So
Nice.
that's a lot about it.
Nice.
You don't want anything bright and loud.
Like boom.
You want something that's calming and cool, like the blues, color, blues, different shades.
Right.
Of,
Right.
maybe some purple, different shades. Something that's really going to show you out.
Right. Now I don't know.
Red or yellow or orange or green.
No.
It's like, no.
Those are the angry colors, right?
Yeah.
I don't know how many people know about the frequencies too, but this is all too kind of tied around certain musical frequencies in the hertz ranges when people, and I know you guys, if you do mixing of any songs or you look at the wave of a song, you see it going up and down. And then when you start analyzing what frequencies they're in, certain ones are more healing to the body than others. So there's a lot of videos and music out there that will even tell you what hertz that they're mixed at, most of the frequencies are at. So there's a whole world of learning as far as that's concerned, and especially with the colors too on the
And one thing you brought up as an educator, as a retired educator, I know one of the things I used to do for my students is play smooth jazz at the beginning of the day. At their classes, I would put on smooth jazz. Now, a lot of them, it took them some use to. They want to take and put on hip hop and everything else, to hear at the beginning of class. But I didn't want no B words and H words coming out. So smooth jazz jazz in, smooth jazz while they did their quiet time work, smooth jazz getting out. And you're right, it mellows them out. Mellows them out.
And you think about the saxophone. The saxophone is played in a very, very smooth way versus it could be, real raunchy sounding and cutting and all that in rock and roll, but played in smooth jazz in the right way, that right there calms you because you hear the air coming out of the instrument. There's a lot of, science behind it, I think.
Oh yeah. And put on a cool sax. I've had students come up to me, who's that? And it just makes my heart good when they ask, who's that?
Yeah.
Yeah, because on music, it just depends on what mood you're in. That's what you want. Because depending on my mood, it's what I want to hear to kind of either get me out of that funk or just to kind of keep me mellowed out. That's kind of like if I'm just like, okay, I'm in the mood to hear my country, so I put in, I go to my George Strait channel and it plays George Strait and other artists that I like from that genre. But then if I'm really like, I'm angry about something, I get my heavy metal music on, and I put it on, and I'm just sitting there like, yes, please.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, and then I go to where and then I go to, it's like, okay, I'm kind of like in the tropical kind of, so I'll go to a lot of my like Hispanic music that either from Puerto Rico or from that kind of genre that has either the merengue or the reggaeton or a mixture of kind of thing. I do that, so I can just kind of like, yeah, okay, and just kind of bebop it along. So yeah, it just depends on my mood, on what I want to listen to.
That's good.
Well, I don't have a mood. I just listen to it.
No, you know what? Never mind. You know, all the things. So I'm gonna leave that one
I
alone.
just go ahead and go on with the flow.
You're just gonna keep your comments to yourself, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, because I've seen one end of the scale all the way over to the other side with your mood. So, like I said, it ain't gonna stink.
Now, Griselda, you're frozen.
Oh, I am?
Yeah.
Like,
Okay,
No, you're not frozen to me. Everybody's moving on my end.
Yeah, I see that I'm frozen on YouTube.
Now you froze.
Yeah, Grizz is frozen.
Oh, she goes in and out, in and out.
The way you move your hands, I don't know what you doing over there. You nervous?
This is my relaxed stance.
I thought you were praying the way you got your hands folded. I wasn't sure.
You know when I'm praying.
she's probably got her head on the pillow right now.
Yeah.
That's it. This is my relaxed stance, my contemplative stance.
I can't tell because you're moving so much around, looking over here, looking over there. But, well, you know, what can I say? You got ADD?
No, you know when we froze up, I looked over at the monitor to see if we still have movement.
Yeah, you got movement. I'm looking at you when you do it. You got movement.
Ain't I pretty?
Maybe that'll get him quiet, Joe.
So, what do we have coming up next, Gary? Let's play some of her earlier stuff.
Well, I don't have any her older stuff queued into my system right now because we got our system's been updated.
I bet Joe Cool has Love Me Now.
You better believe it, baby. Yes, I do. Fun times. I'm telling you, there's just something about that song. I don't know what it. Matter of fact, you know what? The first time, remember Cher Lindsay, Red Stiletto Jazz? That's where I first heard that track.
Yeah. Right.
Keep
What
it in the
happened to her?
red.
I have to.
Fell off the planet.
Yeah.
Is she still around?
Oh yeah, she's still around, but she's not on the air.
Okay.
I just hold on. We just lost Grizz. Hold on.
I'm still here. I just muted my camera.
Okay. All right. I got you.
And then nothing you do about the camera on that end, Joe.
I know that. She won't. Hold on, because right now I just got her. There she is. All right, you're back.
That's it, because I muted my camera.
Okay. There's that beauty.
Yeah, well, she moved to Florida and did that for a minute. Then all of a sudden she was gone.
Yeah. But she used to play a lot of the artists that we're talking to now. Bickley, Terry Tuck, those guys. For some reason, Cher, she brought a lot of those independents to the forefront, and Cher was always dedicated to the independent artists.
Yes.
You know, I miss it a lot, and I tell you, that's where I first picked up "Love Me Now," and I said, "Oh my God."
He was hooked.
Oh, yeah. Line and sinker, baby. I got to have me some Bickley. No, we all miss her. We miss her a lot. And if she's listening, share. Call somebody.
Share.
Reach out.
Yeah.
I'm here to tell you.
Oh, and also Bickley, Yvonne Jay's in the chat room. Wanted to let you know.
My buddy, my
Yep.
honeybee. Or
Yep.
no, her honeybee, I guess. She did a song called Honeybee. She asked me to play on it.
Oh, okay.
And on which one did I forgot which one that she sang on yours?
Oh, it was People All Over the World. Do you have that?
I was like, it was getting there, but it wouldn't come out.
Do you have that one, Gary?
I did, but before we came on, like I said, recently I lost a lot of stuff because I had to move on to a new computer, so I hadn't regained all the music back that I got lots of music, and it's a lot of I'm still trying to restore.
Your third album, wasn't it?
Yes, that was a Positive Vibe album.
Your Vibe. That's right. That's right.
Yeah,
Yep.
where that song came about was I was teaching piano to a family, an Indian family. See, that's where I'm getting this culture stuff. But all I would smell while I was teaching piano was all these spices and all this. Oh my gosh, the Indian that was so delicious. And one day I was leaving there and I said, it's a shame that people not everybody is exposed to this. I just happen to be because I'm in their house teaching, but we need to appreciate everybody's spices and their flavors and all the different things they bring to the table instead of trying to be the same as somebody else or fit in, I've got to be just like this. Forget that. Break the mold,
Exactly.
Yes. Some of that in the food is very good.
Yes.
But if you catch one, boy, look here. It's worse than eating habanero. Sometimes it's kind of warm.
Oh.
Some curry powder.
Curry powder.
Yeah. Yeah. But one thing I noticed about People All Over the World, it had kind of a hip hop rap tinge to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, it had a male vocalist in the background.
That's my husband.
Okay, all right, yeah, and it kind of had a hip hop rap tinge to it.
Yeah, that's him.
Okay.
He's the yaman.
Nice track, nice
Yeah.
one.
You want me to send some songs?
Yeah, of course.
I mean, I could, while we're sitting here, I could send over something. I'll do it on email. So I guess I gotta find Gary's email, right?
Yeah, it should be gfuston@yahoo.com.
Okay. All right. I'll get on there.
Gary, didn't Gino Gauss do a meditation?
Oh, really?
He done one.
He did.
Kidding.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, I remember that, Oh, Lord.
Well,
When's the last time you guys talked to him?
Yeah, Gino had more of an African drum beat to a lot of his songs.
Yeah,
Right.
I heard more.
Hugh Masekela. That's who his sound reminded me a lot of Hugh.
Yeah.
No, I ain't heard from him for a while, Bickley.
Okay. I haven't seen him. I think I'm following him on Facebook, but I haven't seen anything.
No, he's been high.
He had a birthday.
Oh,
I think within the last week or so, Gino had a birthday.
okay.
I'm gonna find that one. Cause he had a guy from India to do this. He was doing the.
You mean the one with the camel? I remember something about a camel.
That be it. But it was a guy from India that was doing the background.
Gary, you were one of the tracks on that one. You're playing guitar on that.
Yeah.
Do you remember the track by any chance?
Hmm?
The one that you played guitar with Gino and that guy from India?
Oh yeah. What about it?
Well, that's what the one that Ray's talking about. So I didn't think that was very meditative.
Oh, okay.
Because
The guy was from in the done the background.
Now remember, you don't put up wild music now.
You talking about Egyptian Drifter?
Thank you, Egyptian
Yes.
Drifter.
Well,
That's a good subject material. What makes something meditative?
what was the
He
track
kept the
there?
horn playing.
Say.
And it was a little bit softer than his normal stuff, but it still had more of a. It wasn't to me. It wasn't as far as like compared to yours.
Yeah.
Your music, like the Mumbai Glow, it has more of a softer tone.
Uh-huh.
You can kind of really just sit back and chill. But with this one, it was a nice track. But to me, it wasn't the one where you can just sit there and kind of thing, you know. So at least not for me.
Yeah.
What was the track again, Gary?
Egyptian Drifter, I think. Something like that.
That's what it
Oh,
was.
I
Egypt. Yeah.
recall. Yeah. Gary, I just sent you the people all over the world.
Yeah, I'd see it now. I'm trying to get it loaded here. Thanks.
Okay. Yeah, that was.
When you come to Texas and Oklahoma to perform some of this stuff.
No, I know. I need to get something going out there. I don't have enough contacts out there yet, but I've got to get a national booking agency that can get me to some of these other states. And some of it's been just my relationship with people. My husband has been instrumental in getting networking with people along the Northeast coast. But I don't have a lot in the Midwest.
Okay.
Okay. We need to get you up here to Western New York so to bring some of that tropical with you, get rid of all the snow.
Well, we'll be driving through there July 8th, I think, something like that, which is midweek, but I mean, not upper state, but
Yeah, because Western New York, we're upstate, yeah.
okay, so you're by Buffalo and all that.
Buffalo, yeah, right up in
Yeah.
that area. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Mac, where's your drink?
Drinking water, baby.
All right.
Ninjas in the house.
Who?
David McLaurin.
McLaurin.
Ninja.
David, what's up, bro?
I figure you got one of them old English 8s.
Oh no, not when I'm professional, but when I get off the air, hey brother, I'm gonna tear it up.
Old English 8.
I'm being good right now. I got Crystal Light.
Ooh. I'm sending Gary Let's Kick It too. That's got Will Donato on it.
Awesome.
There you go.
Willie D.
There you go.
And welcome, Gordon Hudson.
Now, I can't see the chat room. Is that only on your side of the computer, Gary?
Y'all need to be talking because we're on air. I'm trying to get this music out for this email.
No, the chat room is. I can see the chat room
I
on
got
YouTube.
Yeah, I got the chat room. Here we go. I got the chat room.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
Got it?
I'm working right now.
Awesome. All right. No, I was talking to Joe.
Hidden switches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does your husband play or anything?
He sure does. He's primarily a bass player, but in my reggae group, he plays percussion and does the vocals along with me. And then I have a trio I usually perform with a guitarist. So we've got maybe 5 different guitarists that we perform with at any given time. And Sometimes we have a sax player occasionally, or another percussion player. And then I've got a 5-piece reggae group that I'm getting together for some more touring dates for the reggae. So I have live drum, Nelson on bass, my husband on bass, guitar, and keyboards, and then me on steel pan.
Why come you don't never invite him to your interviews? Since it's a family thing.
Well, I can bring them in the room.
Bring him in the room.
Oh, I don't know.
He's camera shy. Camera shy, huh?
I think he's outside.
Okay. Yeah, when he comes in, bring him on so we can take and put a face to that voice.
Yeah, that's right. The Yaman.
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 That's him.
Rasta is in the house. Woohoo!
Who do we have?
Will.
Will McNeil.
Oh, Will. Okay. What's up, Will? This is Joe Cool, bro.
Now you outside gardening.
I don't know about that. Might be
You
mowing
don't know
the
about that.
mowing
Might
the
be
lawn.
mowing the lawn.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, because Will put Irene on.
Irene.
Irene.
Yeah.
That's right.
I and I.
So what will be the next single that you're releasing from the electronic?
It's called Liquid Theory.
Oh, okay. Ooh.
How do you like?
Oh, gave me chill bumps.
What's that?
Yeah.
Oh,
Ray knows about that. Whatever liquid he's got in his cup.
Boy, I tell you, I might have to have 2 or 3 drinks on the liquid theory.
now you see, he looked to the left where his water is, then looked to the right where he's got his yak. Which one he goes to, he knows best. Ain't that right? Yak. Look at it.
Yeah.
See? The other one now.
Here we go.
There we go.
Woo.
So why is it called Liquid Theory? Because I mean, I like the title. It's a cool title.
Yeah. It starts off with synthesizers doing. How do you say? There's a lot of notes going on, but just kind of like a little like glistening da 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 da. But it's like a delay going on, and it just pulls you in immediately with that. And then throughout, it's just got such a what I would consider like a liquid feeling to it. So as the time was going on, when I'm adding these different tracks, I said, you know what? Let me put some liquid sounds in there as well. So I have a couple of keyboard virtual instruments that I kind of developed some sounds from that, and then some real liquid. And that's throughout the song, but it just kind of takes you on a journey, but it's very, very fluid sounding.
Okay.
Well, I can't wait to hear that one.
Yeah, I think
yeah.
Now, is this one of the sound effects that you'll have in like your calming videos that'll be coming out? Can we expect some of that? Kind of a mixture of your music and with your videos? Okay.
Right. Yes. Okay. And then as far as the style, like for instance, in Liquid Theory, I am doing a little more pan, where the pan has a little bit of a melody. So rather than stretching it all out in long lines, I've got maybe a little part that it's sings, you know, da 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 da, whatever. And then later in the end, there's a whole big section where I have it going out, fading out on steel pan. And what I did was I have probably about 8 to 10 steel pan tracks. So they're all doing different voices, and all within that same electronic sound that I had in the beginning, that same movement, that same kind of feeling, da 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 da. So it's like constantly taking you in and out, and And then
There she is.
it's back. In a quiet room.
With no noise.
Yeah.
Joyce, how you doing, baby?
I'm good. Hi, Glenn.
How you doing?
Well, it appears that we're not on the air, right?
No, we are.
We on
We
air.
are.
We
I'm
are.
looking at the video. I couldn't tell. I'm sorry.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you? I heard some of it. I'm excited about all your progress, lady.
Yeah, thank you. How are you doing with your music?
I'm doing good. I'm just kind of slow on getting new music out. I
Yeah.
start and I stop. I start
Right.
and I stop.
Yeah. It
Because
happens.
I'm trying
And
to
then-
do it all by myself, so.
Oh, I
yeah.
know. Yeah. And then when you start back up, sometimes you get on a roll and it's just nonstop.
Yeah,
So-
I was telling them I was trying to do more gigs because I need to make some money, you know.
Right.
Because, you know, we do a lot of work to sell a track for 99 cents.
Yes, I know. Too much work for that.
Yeah, 99 cents.
99.
While
Well, wait a second.
Spotify, Pandora, they're making, huh?
I was going to say, that's what they're charging. That's
Yeah.
not what we're getting.
Right. Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
That's another
Exactly.
point. Jeez.
Good. You
Come
know,
on, okay, I'm gonna call you Joe Cool. Okay, Joe Cool and Mac, y'all need to do something about that.
but
Yeah.
you know what, Joyce? You know what? When it does hit, it's gonna be a boom, a blast. I know it is.
Waiting
Come
for
on
that.
with it.
Yep. Let's do it.
I know. Come on with it, girl.
Come
Yeah.
on with it. I'm ready. You know, aren't we ready?
You're all ready.
Ready for some Joyce Spencer? Come on now. Come on.
Yeah, come on.
One day at a time. And I'm sorry about the mix-up, you guys. You know, even in the chat room or whatever, I was trying to do it from my car, and it was too noisy, too many issues. Remember yesterday, Joe, when we were talking about it, the tablet and the phones, they're great, but when
Oh,
you're moving,
yes.
sometimes they don't work very well. So, and I was moving. I wasn't driving, by the way. I heard you, Brinkley. No, I'm not. I wasn't driving.
Okay.
No.
Max, you're calling her Beckley, and now you're calling her Brinkley.
I
Okay.
said Brinkley. No, what did I say? What name did I call somebody?
Amarillo.
Yeah, Amarillo.
Amarillo by morning.
Okay, I'm gonna calm down now.
Funny.
Amarillo by Morning. Good song. I love that, Grizz. Like,
So do I.
Come on, sing it. Come on, sing.
Where you coming from this afternoon? You had a gig this morning or something?
No, I had to go pick up my son. My husband was supposed to do in college.
Oh,
And
okay.
I just got caught up. I said, oh, I'm running out of time. Come on, let's go. And you guys on the way back, I'm on the way to UNT. My brother calls, and I have him on Bluetooth, and I start screaming because all of a sudden I see this car doing figure eights out of control. There are 4 lanes on 35 at that point. He's going this way, he comes back. Then he goes back again, and you know, you have to be careful because the speed is 70 miles per hour. That's the posted speed limit. You know, everybody's going faster.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't want to just slam on your brakes and have a pile up. So I did apply the brakes thinking it's going to only be one circle. Well, he kept going. And I looked in my rearview mirror, and there are all these cars coming with a van right behind me. And I'm like, don't hit me. Don't hit me. My brother said, I thought somebody was about to beat you up.
Well, in a sense, yes.
Okay. All right. Okay.
In a manner of speaking, yes.
So I don't like accidents. I had one a little over a year ago, and I don't want another one. I just don't want them.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm sorry about that, Miss Rivera.
That's fine. It's fine. What you
Well,
say?
here now, safe and sound. We're
That's
glad.
right. Yes.
So did Matt get a word in edgewise while I was gone?
I got a few.
Your few?
He got several, not just a few.
Hey, Joyce. Plus, he got a geography lesson.
Yeah, he
No,
did.
I don't need no geography lesson.
And he got it right.
Yeah, he knows where Mumbai. He knows where it's at.
I read it. I already knew it was in India. But yeah, yeah, I got some words in. But we got Joe over here now, so I don't know.
Actually, I heard him trying to get you to be quiet so he could talk. Mac.
Boy, once he gets started, now all of a sudden he quiet.
Well, before you get some,
over there, fella.
before you get any more words in edgewise, let's put on a couple of these songs from Rivera here, and then we'll come back and let you talk some more. Okay?
The boss has spoken.
All right, so we're gonna play these two tracks by Bickley, and then we're gonna come back, and then you can just talk all you want, Matt.
By that time, Bickley will have to be going, unfortunately. But yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right, so we'll keep it locked, everybody. We'll be right back.
It's like fire, dang, bang, clang, a dang, dang. We got a right to be blessed, I must confess, 'cause we're here for the rest, yes, that's my guess. That's right. Just give me a spice and everything nice, lots of flavor. Spice, smart, and razor. We got a mission, making a connection. That's right, that's right. It's a celebration. Show your power, man. Unite, man. People all over the world, rise up, rise up, rise up. You'll stay in my heart. In the beginning, when everything was new, little did I know that I would fall in love with you, and I'd never let you go. I just gotta let you know how much I love you so. I don't ever want to lose your love. I just can't let you go. Please say you'll stay. You'll stay in my heart. Please say you'll stay. You'll stay in my heart. I need to know if you feel the same. Don't play, this ain't no game. I need your caress and your tenderness. It's hard to explain. Surely this can't be wrong. When it feels so right, I think about you every day. And all through the night. Please say.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back, and
say you
heard some great music there by Bickley, a couple of more tracks.
You stay.
People all over the world, and also was it Let's Kick It, right?
Yeah.
And
Donato.
yeah, that was nice. And then of course it fell right into a track by Yvonne J that we just got to hear, featuring Peter Pearson, and it was called Please Stay. But we are back. And,
Okay.
And yeah.
What was the last song you played, Gary?
The last one,
Mm-hmm.
it was by Yvonne J. And
Okay, because Earl Bullock, I shared it. I have a watch party going on Facebook. So Yvonne, YJ, if you're in the chat, somebody loves your song. Isn't that great? This is independent music. Independent music by independent artists.
It's best.
Yes, the best. I'm a little partial. Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Bickley, I'm sorry I missed the first hour, but I did hear about, how you have a new, if you will, a new groove going on right now.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
So do you consider yourself a multi-genre artist?
Pretty much, because I'm trying to make the steel pan be the star of the show. So wherever I can take that steel pan to introduce people to that sound, and then whether it's via certain genres. And when I started with Chillin' After 5, it was just so just calming and all that. But then I started doing more of the reggae. So now at my shows, it's very high energy. But I wanted to still have that balance of the meditative side of it. So that's why I started getting back into the meditative, and everybody needs it nowadays. It seems like people are really, I know I've been going to some of the channels on YouTube and I look up guided meditation, healing or whatever, and I listen to it and then I said, wait a second, I do that stuff too. So I'm not out there, and just hopefully people can get, feeling good.
Yeah,
Well,
and water sounds. I listen to water sounds too.
Yeah, yeah.
I tell you what. Here in Texas, if they ever legalize marijuana, I'm gonna be chatting and laying back.
There you go.
Right.
And now you can sell it legally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We said that. No. But Bickley, here's the thing now with the reggae album that's coming out. Are you coming around back full circle to the reggae side and kind of putting your chill, smooth jazz side outside of the circle, or are we just coming full circle back to reggae?
It's all in the same circle, you know. I mean, it comes down to it. If you hear me playing, hopefully you know that that's my style, whether it's in reggae, whether it's in, you know, meditative, chill out, house music, whatever it is, you're going to maybe identify that sound with me, because I always try to put not only steel drums in there, but just some type of ooh or ah from the vocal end of it.
Right.
Some will have more vocals than others, but you know, some are just there so that they know it's me. But I don't think it matters anymore. I find that a lot of the young generation likes variety.
Okay.
And they're not really into it. They're into the feeling and the groove and like, you know, well, this makes me feel good. So really it should be all feel good.
That makes sense.
You know something, Bickley, that even in the high school, even in the college band, I don't understand why they don't have the steel pans and playing them.
You heard it or you didn't?
I had never heard them play the steel pans in
The marching bands.
high school archives.
Yeah, there's not. I don't know if he went frozen or not, but looks like he's frozen there. Oh no, he's not. Okay, sorry. Yeah, I mean,
I had something to say, but I don't. This is permanent record, right?
I never heard
it.
they're not in every school system, if that's what you're talking about, because you know, like even here in Florida, there's only a handful of high schools, and I think there's one middle school that I know of where they have steel drum as an instrument. They have a band that
Right.
they all go, they learn their different parts, because you know there's different levels, different voicings of steel pan. There's the high end, and there's the medium range and whatnot, and it goes down to the bass. So I don't know about Texas, how many schools have them. Probably not a lot.
No.
I've never seen it, but I think it would be cool, you know, because you know marching band shows have themes now.
Right.
If they have an island theme and you know do something like that, that would be really, really nice.
Sure,
So,
yeah.
But I can see steel pan being meditative. I can see it being calming. As soon as you hear it, even if it's an upbeat, it's calming.
Didn't they have steel pan in that movie Drumline?
No.
Based on Bethune-Cookman? They didn't have the steel.
I don't remember that, but I'm not going to say no. I don't remember.
No, in Drumline, no.
What's the difference between a tin pan and a steel pan? Because I know there's two names. Or are they the same?
What was the first word you're using?
A tin pan, because I've seen it. It's a steel pan, yeah. And
I don't know what a tin pan is. The proper name for the instrument is a steel pan, because it's actually a steel drum before it's crafted into the instrument. And I interchangeably use steel drum only because most people call it that. But the proper name is once it's made into the instrument and it has pitches and tones and it's tuned properly, then it's called a steel pan.
And you're known as a panist.
Right, correct.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you, I remember, you know, I said this earlier. I'm gonna repeat it. Boy, I tell you, if you just still doing it, if you're gonna keep doing it in smooth jazz and what, you be the first one to do this, because nobody out there doing it.
Well, you got you have Andy Noriel. He was one of the early pioneers of steel pan jazz.
Okay.
Well, yes, more traditional jazz, I'd say, because I went down to Panorama. I performed down in Trinidad in 2015, and Andy Norell was our arranger.
That's right.
And it was also the same year that I released Breaking the Mold, and he's playing on one of the tunes there. I think it's Brazilian Breeze. He's playing on that one with
Nice.
me. But yeah, I mean, if you listen to his playing is all about arpeggios, scales, and I mean multiple types of scales, not just your typical major and minor. So
Right.
a lot of harmonics, and he doesn't follow the normal island progressions, so to speak. So that sets him apart by far. And a lot of people have changed their playing to follow what he does because he's brought that to the table. He's not a simple player by any means. So where he can make it, show his technical ability, that's what he does. So I think he probably has a couple of tunes maybe that could be classified as smooth jazz, but I call them almost like more of a standard traditional jazz.
Yeah, kind of his later stuff. He kind of broke to the smooth jazz genre. And that's another Brazilian Breeze. That's another track you've got Steve Oliver on with Narelle, with Andy.
Yes, he's playing on there as well. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Great track, too.
It is.
But I can tell you what a tin pan is. My grandfather had them. And they took a spoon, bang, bang, bang.
Hey, Rivera, the mallets that you use on those
right
on the steel pans, what kind of ends are on the mallets there compared
Can you
to,
see that?
Let's see.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. Yeah.
They're just it's surgical tubing. That's
Yeah,
really all it is. And then these I got actually in Trinidad. And it's the weight of the dowel that makes a big difference. It's got to be nice and light so you can really let it bounce.
Mm-hmm.
And so like when you're moving your stick, you're really just kind of doing this kind of action. It's as light as can be, loosey-goosey, it's just like ready to fall out of your hands, rather than doing this kind of motion. You're not as much like a drummer. A drummer kind of has more force, I think, on there. You really want to play these nice and light, unless you want a piercing sound, and there's plenty of people that play like that where they play real loud. And we do at our shows sometimes when we're doing the heavy action, high energy type songs. I'm known to, bang the heck out of them. But for the most part, for the mellow stuff, you want to just lightly touch it. Let it ring.
It's like a xylophone. You just don't let the xylophone get that sound, right?
Exactly. Just the right touch.
Now, what's the texture on the tip?
Right.
What's the texture? What's the texture on the tip of the sticks?
Well, it's surgical tubing, so it's like almost like a very, very flexible rubber, kind of elastic, kind of almost like you could take. Actually, some of the islanders will take rubber bands and then just wrap them around the tip,
Okay.
And they don't use this at all because they don't have access to it or whatever. And it's nothing fancy. I mean, this instrument is still in evolution, So there's a lot of things that have to be, they've changed from year to year, and they perfect more. And then there's factories that make these instruments now, rather than the people in the islands just hammering it out. So it just depends on what sound you want.
That looks like the stick itself. That looks like bamboo. Is that bamboo?
No, it's just I don't even know what type of wood this is, but I'll be honest with you. These are the ones I just use in my studio, but the ones that I use when I'm performing with my other steel pan, which is like the glory of steel pan, those sticks are made with golf sticks. I take I take one section where it looks like it's pretty even all the way down, and I'll cut that. And they're longer sticks than this one. This is like kind of a traditional size, but if you notice, like if you can see the pan, that's a traditional size pan, but I have an oversized one that I perform with. So because I'm reaching so much farther to get to the other side, I need longer sticks.
Yeah.
The bad thing about that, though, is when you have longer sticks, you can't play as fast because you've got more area to cover, and that you're not there. That's why some of the players they'll have sticks that are maybe like this long, they cut them off because they want to be playing as fast as they can play.
Right. Okay. So you have a separate set for the studio and a separate set for when you go out and you play. Okay, that makes sense.
Right. Yeah.
But the ones that you use out when you're on live performances, those are the longer sticks, is what you're saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Only because the size of the pan, it's made from an 80-gallon drum instead of a 55-gallon. So that difference in circumference, it's like it's just a lot wider. And the notes, like, I don't know if you can see here, like these are separate notes right here.
Okay.
Can you see that?
Oh, yeah.
So like how these are like right next to each other. On my other pan, they're actually separated. So they're more pure tone because you're not hearing one note ring over the other or ring into it,
Okay, now on the average, how many notes, just on an average pan, how many notes do you have?
It depends. Like, so for mine, I have 28 voicing, so I can do like 2.5 octaves.
Wow.
And it's a chromatic scale, so you got half tones.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then if you're on, let's say, a double tenor, that's what I learned on, then you've got less notes because they're bigger because they want to go lower. So remember, I told you, bigger the size, then the lower the tone. So when you get down to, say, a bass drum, you need 6 to 9 drums to be able to produce all the tones in the scale.
Okay.
So because you've got really big surface areas to hit.
Okay. Wow, and I thought the saxophone was complicated. Yeah, I got to take and pick your brain, Joyce.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
Hurt.
I think, Chris, there's some questions in the chat room
from
some of the listeners. Can you see it?
Yes. I'm trying to ask Bickley something, though. Bickley, I want to know, how many pans do you actually have that you own?
I only own 2. To be honest with you, but a lot of my friends that perform, they'll collect them. They have like they say, oh, I want the Invader style, I want this style, because the way my layout is, I've got it's a circle of fifths. Joyce will know that one. So I go from middle C on a piano, then to G, a fifth up from that, then down to D, and then A. So you do the whole circle of fifths. But now, other pans from way back didn't have that kind of layout. So they standardized all this stuff over the years so that now they're kind of the same layout. But when you go back to the historical ones, people want to collect those because they're like antiques,
Right.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Somebody in the chat was asking if you can play something for us.
Yeah, that was fun. You want to say, play something, Bickley.
Play something.
I can do that. I have to put the phone down because I'm holding the phone in front of me.
That's fine.
That's okay. Just come back.
Here you go. Here you go, YJ.
Hey.
I know that sounds. Now that sounds like a tin pan because this is a cheap pan.
We don't know.
It sounded great.
Yeah.
Next
I
time,
don't understand what you do.
You should have seen the looks on Joyce and Griz's face. Eyes just went, wow. they
Hey.
went to that pina colada happy place.
That's it. Laid back on the beach.
you know what? I got an idea. I think we need to do a couple of guest spots on the show. You put your tracks on, and then we play along with it. So you get the live.
That'd be nice, yeah.
That would work.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
Have to work that out next time for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, the Spencer Rivera band.
I'm ready. Are you ready?
Ready.
Florida, here I come. That would be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, as we progress and we grow, hey, why don't we sponsor a festival?
Yeah, we need to do that. We've talked about that, haven't we?
Mhm.
I mean,
That would be nice too.
yeah, I know. It's so much work.
It is, and the expense, the work, all the logistics.
Yeah.
You know, whether it's planning or financial, it's no joke.
All of the above.
All of the above.
Yeah.
And then you have to make sure whoever is in your circle is not going to drop the ball.
Exactly.
I've seen it happen several times. Everybody, you're planning, you got this big event coming, people are buying tickets, and one person doesn't do something.
Yeah.
And people get angry when they pay $100 for a ticket and you don't have what they're expecting.
Yeah.
Me too.
That's why I said you understand, and you have to do your best to make it happen. But it's it's just like a wedding. I don't know if there's such a thing as a perfect wedding. I don't think everything goes perfectly.
That's right.
But for what we're talking about, it's doable. It is so doable.
I know.
Because it's been done over and over. But I think, was it Live Nation and another big group, aren't they buying out all the major festivals now all over the world?
Wow.
I don't know.
All the major festivals? I read an article about it maybe a year ago. So, and basically they're buying them out. So, for instance, if you own, I forget the numbers, 100 festivals across the world. If one doesn't do well because of inclement weather, then you have all these others.
Right.
See what I mean? I mean, it's business.
Yeah.
Like investing, what is that called? I can't remember. When you're investing in something, it's like several things, and so if one part fails, you have a whole lot of others to depend on. Like Philip Morris Company, tobacco thing, and they cost them a lot of money, but what people didn't realize, they own several restaurants and everything. So you notice they're still in business, but they're still in business because they own a lot of things. I think Budweiser, couple of chicken place, pizza chain, et cetera, et cetera. So if one thing fails, they have all these other things. And also another trick I saw when I was in corporate America, if they're looking for a service, they need a service to do whatever for them, then they create that company.
Right.
And they make money again. There are all kinds of ways to balance it. And I think Live Nation is doing that. I don't know how many they have bought out, but they're huge now. And they bring shows into the Dallas area and do a great job.
You've got one company in Texas that's doing, it's under one banner name, and it's doing Dallas, Austin, San Antonio, and I can't think of the name of the company, but they're doing the same thing you're talking about in Texas. Yeah. And it's a jazz series.
Wow.
What is that guy? Oh, I can't think. Brother something, partners or something like that. Do a lot of concerts around there. Bad partners, lost partners, or something. I can't think of that boy's. I knew it was partners something.
Partners, bad partners.
Your cousin Mark said he's just going to go with the chicken. You guys are laughing when everybody was buying that, not Chick-fil-A, Popeyes? It was Popeyes. When they were wrapping around the building, and I mean, somebody even lost their life. Okay, that's not funny. But I said, you know what? Maybe that's how I can get people to come to my show. I'll say free chicken sandwich.
If it's anything like Popeye's chicken sandwich.
Popeye's chicken sandwich. Buy a ticket.
Look here. It ain't nothing but some bread and 2 pickles, and that's it.
That's it.
I know that, but apparently it worked. It worked. I'm just, if we were in a business meeting and somebody said we need to do this, sell some chicken, and we'll get people lined up, I said there's no way that's going to work. So yes, I'm shocked that people went to that extent.
People that love chicken can eat chicken every day.
That's too fun.
You know, they can eat it every day.
Yeah, but they're not going to line up for miles.
If you let that chicken, that's chicken to eat you.
Enough with the chicken eating you.
So I think I could beat a chicken.
Hey, Mac, if you fry it, they will come.
But that amazes me. So I'm wondering, I said, what? Maybe I should say Popeye's chicken, chicken sandwich. Come to my show.
Yeah, put that on your album cover.
Right. And I'll sell.
A big chicken drumstick.
I'm just amazed.
Ew.
Or you can be like Ray with the turkey leg at the concert.
And leaving it at the bar. And leaving it at the bar.
I don't know.
Let me tell you the story.
No, everybody's heard it already. You have to tell them off the air. We don't want to.
Yeah, because we're about out of time. So
yeah,
okay.
We got 8 minutes left.
Yeah.
That chicken leg turned into a stanky leg. We don't.
Okay. So Bickley, before we run out of time, before you get out of here, let everyone know how they can keep up with you and your music and stuff. I know you have. Don't you have a website and everything too?
I do.
Yeah.
BickleyRivera.com, BICKLEY Rivera.com. And I'm on Instagram, I'm on YouTube, I'm on Facebook. I've got a Facebook band page. I'm trying to think what else. Twitter. What else is out there? I've got it there. And then the music, of course, you can go to CD Baby. You can go to iTunes, Pandora, Music Choice on television. That covers it.
All right. Very good.
You guys are like holding it in, huh?
We're reading something from the chat line.
It's him. No, it's him.
I'm glad you know that, because we have to tell some people, their first experience with GHP, that sometimes we read the chat and we may laugh. We're not laughing at you.
Yeah, I know.
Funny. But I have to tell you guys, Glenn, you and Mac were side by side at one point on the YouTube, and when you turned back, it looked like you were kissing Mac on the cheek. That was hilarious.
Hey, Mac, was it good for you?
I always say Brady Bunch, look to the side and look up, look down. Look at the Brady Bunch. It's the Brady Bunch, so. Yeah, hey, there's a story. Look, there you go.
I'll give you a song with me and Mac in it. No, don't do it.
Did we lose someone?
Gary's up there.
Okay. Now, Joe Cool, I didn't mean to scare you about that, but just go back in the archive and look at it and return it.
You, Mac?
I should have taken a picture and give me some blackmail money.
Oh, yeah.
Was it kissing, man?
Stevie Joyce, you got me, girl. You got me.
Some blackmail money. Okay, Gary.
Yeah.
I've barely heard your voice since we've been here, because Max, he won't let us have a word in edgewise.
Well, I got him in today, but I was really thinking. I said, now Joyce is not here. I can slow Glenn down something. I can't slow Joyce down. I said, I would never get a woman.
Hear
me roar.
There you go.
You know,
finally met your match.
If you look at, he's steady doing something. Now he wiping his glass. He got his hands up like he's praying. He's steady doing something.
Mac, you can't talk about nobody with your bald-headed chair.
Next time I'm just going to get me an armless chair.
Look, there it is. It's a bald-headed chair.
Hands behind my back. Max up there. Hey, Joyce, Max up there. You look like you got ADD.
The way you be moving, I'm kind of wondering. And Lord B just said that Joe Cool was praying for you, Ray.
Oh, all right, Chief.
Break your soul, brother.
Lay hands on you.
Wow.
That you could shave. I told her that the other day. I said, Mac, you got to trim.
Funny.
Oh, now.
It's all good. It's all good. Well, I'm excited about what you're doing. I'm Bickley. See, now you got me nervous, Chris. At least I didn't call her Amarello, you know, with Amarello, whatever it was.
Do it. You can do it.
What did you say?
I said just chill with the meditation.
Right.
You can do it, Joyce. It's Bickley.
I know, right? I'm like I haven't been seeing it all week. I knew she was
Mark.
coming.
Mark, no, he does. It's just not just you, Mark. He does look like Papa Smurf.
Oh, Mac. They're talking about
and
you.
He even said a black Papa Smurf.
Not a blue one.
Hey.
That's your cousin.
I think Mark got that right, cause one of my grandkids, which one is it? They call me Papa, but one of them call me Papa Smurf. There's Asia. She really called me Papa Smurf.
Oh man.
Smart kid.
Yeah,
Anyway,
you don't have a little Smurf you can run across the screen.
I'll have to hunt one down.
Beckley,
I know, right?
Yeah.
Now that's my cousin Mark Griffiths. Now he's a bass player. He play a lot of reggae.
Oh yeah.
When Dread, they used to call him Big Dread. Now he plays reggae.
Nice.
Awesome, Big Dread.
Oh man. I used to have those dreads. They killed my hair.
Well,
But
he
not in
cut
my
off
blood.
dreads because he's a tech at Dell, so they want you to look professional, and he works from home.
Yeah.
They want him to have a look, and he works from home.
Yeah. Well, I want to thank you guys for featuring my music today. I really enjoyed seeing you guys again.
Yeah.
Talking.
Same here.
Yeah.
Had a blast.
Yeah. You guys have too much fun.
I know.
We try not to.
Yeah.
It's Mac. He's the one that makes it fun.
Oh yeah. Yo,
Right, Mac?
y'all are good. And it was nice seeing Joe Cool.
Hey, always a Bickley Rivera fan.
There.
Always.
Chris, you want to let us know what Joe's getting ready to do for GHP Radio?
Man, I look at you. Why you want to get all of my Kool-Aid? You don't even know the flavor. Come on, man.
What I'm saying.
Well, maybe you guys want to talk about it right now.
So the audience will know what's going on. You want to go ahead and riz with it?
Do what now?
It's 4 o'clock.
What?
That's fine.
Go, Ray. We'll discuss this some other time. We'll do the whole.
Well, you're gonna have one of the guests on tomorrow, right? And next week.
Yeah, but
right?
I'll get to that in a minute. Let
All right.
Gary do his closing first. 'Cause
Okay.
It's way past.
All right, everybody. We really do appreciate everyone for tuning in today to the show, and hope you can definitely come back and tune in next week. And we want to thank Bickley. Thank Bickley Rivera for hanging out with us today and sharing that music. Wonderful music, Bickley. thank you for coming through again, and please come back. You know where we're at, so
Yep.
definitely.
Already is. Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And of course, Joe Cool, man.
Hey,
Always.
peace and, baby. Peace
Yes,
and cool.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. And of course, we're gonna see a lot more of you, and of course, we will be letting everybody know about that. Well, we got some things coming up on the chain coming, so we'll keep you posted on that pretty soon. And then of course, Joyce, glad you can get in today before it's all over with.
Me too.
Yeah. And okay, so anyway, I just want everybody to have a great weekend, and I'm gonna pass it over to the rest of the crew. Y'all tell us.
Well,
out.
Bickley, we enjoyed you, and the next time you come on, I guess we're gonna have a drink together.
I'll be working on it. I got to get training.
Look at
Oh, you just made him so happy.
Yeah.
You got a drinking partner.
Left standing.
And just saying my goodbye again. Thank you. I'm so glad I got here. I'm really excited about what you're doing. Keep doing it. I know it's hard out there for a chick, but you got that stick, baby. Keep going.
Yeah.
All right. Until next time.
All right, I gotta run.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks.
All right. See you
Take
later.
Ciao.
Bickley
Bye-bye.
was in the house.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
You.
All right.
Bye.
All
Okay.
Bye.
right.
Bye, Bickley.
Bye.
Bye. All
Why
right.
do I feel like
So
Walton?
now it's my turn. All right. So thanks everyone that tuned in both the YouTube chat room and the one on Facebook. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Hope to see you next week. Please come back next week. Invite a friend, because we've got, finally, with Joe's help, was able to get my friend. A lot of people were thinking, how can he be your friend if you, well, anyway. Will Donato. Got Will Donato for next week. Yay! Finally.
And
I've known this man for several years. First time I met him, he was with Steve Reed Bamboo Forest.
Yep.
And then he broke out on his own. And ever since then, we've been like family. So can't wait for him to be on the show next week. So,
Awesome.
Yay. Okay. Have a great weekend, everyone. Be safe out there, and we'll see you next week. Ciao.
Peace.
All right, everybody. See you next
Cool.
week.
Ciao.